Hungry for a home on the Chinese coast, the sea-savvy Portuguese founded Macau in 1556. Trade was the primary intention. However, the Portuguese have long been a staunch defender of the cross.
Many a martyr lost his or her life in China trying to spread the word of Jesus. The Society of Jesus, the Jesuits, led the way. But the greatest threat to the churches here in Macau was fire.
It was the Taoist goddess, Taoist, not Buddhist. First one was quite dangerous for the outside. I think all were the same. So that's why they like to dedicate her every day in the morning and the evening. It's quite easy because they just only take incense. That's okay. Any people, any worshiper, they can dedicate her. Because her armor, she was the goddess that helped a lot of people. So, but the people, they have only one opportunity. They want to get more money.
When I come into a new place for the first time, I'm always curious, what's the tallest building in town? I mean, for centuries, the church was the most important building in society, the temple, the shrine. And then during, of course, the middle of the millennium, the political force became the most important thing. The king, the emperor, had the biggest place in town. Well, now it's an economic, it's a financial time. And so, here in Macau, the Bank of China, at 38 stories tall, is the dominant landscape building. It's a time to get rich. I think it was an elder statesman, a Chinese, who said, "To be rich is glorious."
Glorious is a good word to describe the business climate in Macau. After a century of decline, Macau is once again becoming a thriving port.
That's the best value in Macau. I think you can't beat that. Up around the ruins of St. Paul's, the antique shops there offer phenomenal bargains. I mean, less than half the price what you'd pay in Hong Kong.
Statues celebrating Sino-Portuguese cooperation are at every turn. A new one is built every year, and Macau returns to Chinese rule December 20th, 1999.
This black granite monument is called the Gate of Understanding, and it commemorates the 1987 joint declaration by China and Portugal, effectively setting in stone the handover of Macau in 1999. It reminds me very much of Macau, designed by the Portuguese, built by the Chinese.
Because it's so close, you can do the Hong Kong, Macau, and go into China. Or come from Macau, go into different parts of China, do 2 or 3 days, and then come back out again. It's you get an exposure to the British colonial ex-colony, the Portuguese colony, and then the Chinese. You see 3 different styles.
Many tourists don't know you can fly directly into Macau from many Asian capitals. On board Air Macau, even the pilots' hats fly in from Portugal. Macanese hospitality began right on board, with robust Iberian red wines served with a smile. Air Macau jets dominate the tarmac at the new Macau International Airport. Many flying here are Taiwan Chinese on their way to mainland China.
We have very good facilities. We have one very simplified system in Macau. We have more and more facilities, and I think that if the Hong Kong people decide to fly to Macau, they go to like it a lot.
On some airlines, the gambling starts right at your seat, win or lose using your credit card. But it can never match the excitement of the real thing.
When millions, maybe even billions of dollars are at stake, you better believe a casino company is going to maximize their feng shui. I mean, the Hotel Lisboa is in the shape of a birdcage. Money flies in, but it can't fly out. There's even stone lions to ward off evil spirits of gamblers. But the players fight back. Some even rub pig's oil on those lions for their own well-being. Or they use the side entrance, or they walk in backwards.
We've both live and work in Hong Kong. At times that can become a bit of a concrete jungle. So it's a welcome change to come here. The pace of life is much slower, it's peaceful, and the food's very good. And we do it several times a year.
Compared to Hong Kong, it's more relaxing here. Atmosphere is so different, the building is so different, so just we can enjoy here more.
Well, if you look around here, for example, the architecture reminds one very much of the Mediterranean. Again, it's very, very different from Hong Kong. You don't see areas like this where you can sit out and enjoy a beer, enjoy a meal in Hong Kong at all. So again, it makes a very welcome change from where we live and work.
All these little squares with where, you know, people sit outside, situated in the hills, winding roads, all that. It is Monte Carlo. And the hundreds of churches. Oh, the churches is one thing that fascinated me. I knew about, okay, the facade of St. Paul's Cathedral, but now seeing all the other churches, the Portuguese influence is really strong, and I think that's the nice part of it. That's what reminds me of Monte Carlo.
This collection of old aristocratic houses here on Taipa, it's now just a museum, but I like to picture what it must have been like in 1880, 1890, with the Chinese servants serving the tea to their families who'd be enjoying these sea breezes. But fortunately, there is still wonderful living culture of the Portuguese here in Macau.
Right here, we're on the track. I mean, we're what, 25 meters from the track right now, and when those Formula 3 cars come down to 280 kilometers an hour, that roar and the excitement is just phenomenal.
He should be disqualified. Michael Schumacher cut me off in the last lap, and then I have to turn hard. I hit oil slap, and then the car stalled.
A lot of people will come to Macau because of Macau Grand Prix. The motorbike racing, gear race, and the Formula 3 race. If you like car racings, you can find anything you like in here.
The collection includes Formula 3 cars of past winners, including Michael Schumacher, Pedro Lamy, and the deceased Brazilian bad boy, Ayrton Senna.
If you want to experience what it's like to be in a Macau Grand Prix race, take a taxi. Macau is home to some of Asia's most swelligant boutique hotels, including the Bella Vista, which has been welcoming guests since 1870. But it won't be a hotel forever after the handover. This will be the official residence of the Consul General of Portugal. After that time, you might have to stay in a fortress.
The Pousada de São Tiago may be my favorite inn in all of Asia. This Portuguese-style beauty is built right into the ruins of a 17th century fortress. And if you aren't already falling in love, maybe you'll fall in love with charming Macau. I certainly did.